Tactic 3, Zygarnic effect and open loops. Now we hit the tension engine. Your brain hates incompletion. When a task starts but doesn't finish, it creates a mental itch, cognitive tension that keeps it active in working memory. That's the Zygarnic effect in plain terms. It was first described in 1927 by psychologist Bloomer Zygarnic after noticing waiters remembered unpaid orders but forgot them once paid. The core insight: unfinished equals unforgettable, at least for a while. Online, that tension gets industrialized. Half reveals and cliffhangers. Part 1 ends right before payoff. Read more truncates the point behind a tap. Notifications dangle quests. 3 new comments. You were mentioned, someone replied. Watch next chains promise resolution in the next clip, then the next. Even typing bubbles create social suspense. You saw the dots, now you need to know what they wrote. The loop feeds on curiosity without closure. Here's the thing most people miss. One quick check doesn't reduce the tension, it resets it. Every partial glance starts the loop again. You close the app carrying more open threads than you had going in. That's why quick checks feel mentally noisy. You multiplied unfinished business instead of finishing anything. It's not that you're distractible, you're carrying cognitive tabs the interface keeps opening. Why does this work so reliably? Because open loops hijack prioritization. Your brain ranks unfinished goals as urgent even when they're trivial. A spoiler tease, an unresolved debate, a coming soon preview, these leapfrog your actual priorities because incompletion rings louder than importance. The app doesn't need to be fascinating, it only needs to be unresolved. That's enough to steal a slice of your working memory. Let me show you exactly how creators lean into this. In short form, micro-conflict every few seconds. Pose a question, cut away before answering, seed a contradiction, promise the secret at the end. In feeds, withhold the key detail behind a comment or tap. Step 4 is the game changer, buried behind engagement. In messaging, stagger responses to keep the thread alive. Across formats, the same goal: prolong tension, delay closure, keep you cycling. Now here's where most people mess up their defense. They try to finish everything before logging off. That closer mindset is the trap. Feeds are bottomless. Social threads are asynchronous. New notifications arrive faster than you can clear them. The harder you chase zero, the more loops you open. You can't outsprint an infinite conveyor belt. The shortcut nobody teaches is intentional closure. End every session with 3 moves. Declare done, capture next, close context. Declare done. Literally say, I'm done for now, and exit from the app's home screen, not mid-thread or mid-clip. Capture next. Write the one unresolved item you actually care about in your system, notes, calendar, or task list, with a concrete next step. Close context. Switch to a neutral screen, home or lock. Then do a palate cleanser. Stand, stretch, sip water. You're teaching your brain that loops don't close inside the app. They close when you decide. Let me give you an example you can try today. Schedule 2 inbox processing blocks, say 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. for DMs, comments, and email. Outside those windows, turn off badges and previews. During the block, triage into 4 buckets: reply now, schedule later, archive, unsubscribe, mute. Anything over 2 minutes gets scheduled, not half done. When the block ends, run the closure ritual. You'll notice your mind feels quieter in the gaps because it trusts that real closure is coming at a set time. Common mistakes to avoid: leaving apps on a cliffhanger screen, half-composed reply, paused reel, which guarantees itch. Swiping away notifications without addressing or scheduling them, which keeps the alarm active in memory. Mixing entertainment and tasks in one session, which blends professional and social loops into one knot. And checking for peace of mind, which usually multiplies open threads. A quick micro story. A client felt mentally full by mid-afternoon daily. We added 2 20-minute processing windows and enforced exit from home screen. Within a week, they reported fewer phantom checks and easier re-entry into deep work. They didn't quit apps, they quit incomplete usage. Let me show you a fast diagnostic. After a 15-minute scroll, ask, can I list 3 finished items? If you can't, you are loop grazing. Loop grazing builds tension without payoff. Replace it with deliberate sessions that end on a completed step, finished message, saved note, scheduled next action. You might be thinking, won't I miss something urgent? Emergencies are rare. Urgency is often manufactured by design. Whitelist true emergencies, specific people or channels to break through. Everything else fits your cadence. That boundary shrinks artificial tension and lets real priorities stand out. One more technique, the end-of-day loop list. 3 columns: open, parked, closed. Open, the few incomplete items that truly matter tomorrow. Parked, items captured with a date and next step. Closed, loops finished today. Seeing a growing, closed column gives your brain visible closure, which improves evening calm and often sleep. The reason this works is simple. Attention follows tension. Reduce artificial tension and your attention returns to chosen work. Increase real closure and you feel lighter faster. It's not about perfection. It's about lowering background noise so you can direct focus on purpose. If you remember nothing else from this tactic, remember this line: leave on your terms. End sessions deliberately, capture what matters in your world, and close the app at a natural end point. Once you tame open loops, the novelty drip loses leverage, and that's the next layer we'll reshape. Tactic 4: Novelty, Dopamine Drip, and the Attention Diet. Let's tackle why novelty grabs you even when you're not enjoying yourself. Your brain flags new as potentially important. When the outcome is uncertain, dopamine rises during anticipation. That prediction error, the gap between what you expect and what you get, teaches your brain to keep sampling. Feeds exploit this with rapid context shifts. Jokes, outrage, tips, drama, wins, fails, micro surprises every few seconds that keep your prediction circuits buzzing. The thing most people miss: dopamine fuels wanting more than liking. You can crave the next clip even as your satisfaction drops. After enough spikes, your baseline can dip for a while, pleasure down, craving up. That's the good during, hollow after pattern. You close the app and life feels a bit flatter, so you reach for another hit. It's not moral failing, it's the system teaching you to anticipate. Now let me decode the craft you can spot. Short-form timing hits you with micro-rewards every 3-8 seconds, jump cuts, on-screen text that resolves with a beat drop, quick zooms, sound stingers. The content matters less than the surprise rhythm. Personalization tightens the loop. The system tracks pauses, rewatches, and shares, then narrows toward hyperstimuli you rarely resist, specific voices, aesthetics, emotions. Over time, the diet gets spicier and narrower. You're not browsing, you're being tuned. Here's where most people mess up their fix. They try a total detox, create a novelty vacuum, and snap back hard. Novelty isn't bad, it's a nutrient for learning and motivation. The move isn't zero novelty, it's dose, timing, and source. Think food. Ultra-processed snacks hit bliss points and leave you hungrier. Ultra-processed content does the same. The goal is a sane ratio, not monk mode. So build an attention diet. Anchor your day with one 90-minute deep block, no notifications, one task, clear outcome. That's your protein. Schedule 2 novelty windows, 10-15 minutes each for intentional sampling, curated playlist, a newsletter skim, a saved highlight reel. That's dessert. Then add slow carbs, a daily walk without audio, a physical hobby, print reading with a timer. These restore baseline and raise boredom tolerance, which makes deep work less painful. Replace algorithmic spikes with self-chosen variety. If you crave quick hits, use skill micro-challenges. A 60-second sketch, a 10-rep language drill, a 4-bar music riff. You still get novelty, new patterns, and small wins without the feed training you. If you need variety during a single task, rotate modes inside the task. Outline, then draft, then edit. Novelty within focus keeps dopamine steady without splintering attention. A micro story to make this real. A developer I coached kept bouncing between tabs, short videos, and chat pings. We first removed everything. By day 3, Rebound City. The fix was replacement, a midday 15-minute curiosity walk, no phone, just noticing patterns, and a 10-minute late afternoon skill sprint on a guitar app. 2 weeks later, evening doom scrolling dropped by half and code reviews sped up. They didn't grit their teeth, they fed novelty on purpose. Common mistakes to avoid. Swapping one ultra-processed feed for another, shorts for reels is the same candy. Leaving autoplay on just for one, that deletes your stopping cues. And stacking study with me streams as a productivity hack, your brain still rides micro surprises and never settles. Also, blasting music with lyrics during deep work if language is your task. Lyrics hijack verbal bandwidth. Quick wins you can do today. 1. Kill autoplay everywhere. 2. Set the phone to grayscale after a set hour. Color amplifies reward salience, gray lowers it. 3. Move entertainment to a separate device or a common area screen. 4. Keep a novelty list in your notes with articles, albums, tutorials, and places to explore. When the urge hits, pick from your list, not the algorithm's feed. Let me show you the weekly rhythm that sticks. Pick a theme per week, call it fenced novelty. 1 week on color theory, 1 on negotiation, 1 on aviation safety. You still roam, but within a fence that protects focus. Collect inputs in a single place, then process them in a scheduled block. The fence gives variety coherence, which turns scattered curiosities into useful patterns. Breathing helps too. Start deep blocks with 60 seconds of nasal breathing, 4 in, 6 out. Longer exhales signal safety, which calms the scanning system that hunts for novelty. If restlessness spikes mid-block, do 3 rounds and continue. It's not a detour, it's maintenance for your attention engine. You might be thinking, isn't novelty essential for creativity? Yes, with constraints. Creativity loves varied inputs, but scattered novelty muddies signal to noise. Curate sources and batch exposure. Then step away. Many insights consolidate on walks and in the shower, not in the feed. That off time is when your brain recombines ideas without jitter. Why this works: when you control dose and timing, your dopamine system recalibrates. Baseline enjoyment creeps up, the wanting, liking gap narrows, and stillness becomes tolerable. You'll notice fewer twitch checks, smoother ramp into focus, and easier finishing. It starts subtle, less tab flipping, longer paragraphs, then compounds week to week. If you remember nothing else, remember this: your brain needs novelty, but it thrives on chosen novelty. Replace algorithmic spikes with scheduled, self-curated variety. Reduce autoplay and rapid context shifts. Add slow embodied inputs and fence your curiosity by theme. Do that for 7 days and the drip slows, so you can actually choose what gets your best attention. Tactic 5. Self-image, mirrors, and identity loops. Here's the quiet trap almost no one names. The apps don't just capture your attention, they shape your identity, then use that identity to pull you back. Camera-first design, beauty filters, creator dashboards, and people like you feeds are mirrors that talk back. The more you stare, the more those mirrors train your self-image, and identity is sticky. Once, who I am fuses with how I perform here. Every check feels personal. Why this hits hard: self-focus amplifies anxiety. When the first thing you see on open is your own face, your brain shifts into self-evaluation mode before you've even decided why you're there. Filters don't just polish, they create a moving target for acceptable me. When your reflection comes with a scoreboard, likes, watch time, retention curves, you start editing yourself to win points. Now each refresh whispers, your worth is fluctuating in real time. That's not feedback, that's a mood thermostat wired to public metrics. Let me spell out the loop. You post, you peak. If numbers pop, micro-euphoria. If they sag, micro-sting. Either way, the next move is optimization. Tweak the hook, exaggerate the thumbnail face, trim nuance for punch. Over a few weeks, your taste shifts toward what performs fastest, not what aligns with your values. The algorithm notices and narrows your reflection. You win when you're louder, hotter, or angrier. That's an identity funnel disguised as analytics. Here's the thing most people miss: analytics aren't neutral. By design, dashboards overweight short-term signals, click-through, early retention, comment velocity. Those are useful for craft, but they privilege arousal-heavy content and novelty. If you check them hourly, they'll steer your sense of self toward volatility. Learning happens in patterns over weeks, not in today's dip at second 7. Now add filters. When filtered you becomes default you, your unfiltered face can start to feel wrong. That gap feeds self-consciousness on calls, in mirrors, and even in casual photos. For teens, this can crank baseline social anxiety. Adults aren't immune. The more polished the mirror, the harsher reality feels. That harshness sends you back to the mirror for relief. That's an identity loop. Let me show you how to break it without quitting your work or your social life. First, create distance with scheduled analytics. 2 windows per week, say Tuesday and Friday at 4:30 p.m., 15 minutes each. Outside those, hide dashboards or use a browser extension to block metric elements. If you must check sooner, put a price on peaking, 10 push-ups or a boring chore. Make checking slightly costly so the reflex weakens. Second, add no metric creation blocks. Daily, 1 session where you make something, write, record, design, with dashboards closed and comments off if possible. Ship and walk away for at least an hour. You're retraining the association from I am what the graph says to I am the person who does the work. Third, stabilize your on-camera variables. Fixed lighting, consistent framing, same lens, external mic. Consistency turns appearance from a stressor into a constant, which lowers self-scrutiny. If you use filters, do it intentionally and occasionally post unfiltered to reset both your reference point and your audience's. Fourth, write a 2-sentence creator charter. I make X for Y because Z my success metric is Q, keep Q behavior-based, publish cadence, thoughtful replies, emails collected, not public counts. Put that charter near your workspace. When a trend tempts you off course, read it aloud. You're not anti-growth, you're pro-alignment. Quick micro story. A designer hit 50k followers, then stalled and spiraled. Their mood rode the analytics. We limited checks to twice a week and instituted a daily no-metric block. In a month, stress eased, work quality rose, and growth resumed. Nothing mystical changed, the identity loop loosened. Common mistakes: calling compulsive stat checks research. Hourly swings aren't insight. Treat analytics like instruments, not a heart monitor. Another mistake: following high-envy creators for motivation. If your mood dips after viewing, that's compulsion fuel. Curate process-forward peers who show the messy middle, not just the victory lap. And don't conflate verification with value. Blue badges signal platform status, not personal worth. Here's a 5-minute audit to run today. Hide like counts where the platform allows for your posts and your feed. Disable milestone push notifications. Turn off real-time follower counters. Move dashboards to desktop-only content creation to a separate profile or device. Put social apps behind a folder named Intentional Social. When you open it, ask, connect, create, or compare. Close on compare. Messaging can mirror the same trap. Read receipts and active now tie your identity to responsiveness. Turn them off. Set reply windows and add a status line. Heads down 9/11, replies after. Whitelist true emergencies. You're not less caring. You're removing social timers that make other people's clocks your identity trigger. Now a practice I wish more people used: identity inventory. List 3 identities you want tech to reinforce: mentor, builder, friend. Then map actions that match. Mentor equals 1 thoughtful reply. Builder equals 90-minute deep block. Friend equals voice note to 1 person daily. Schedule those before you scroll. Identity grows from repeated acts, not from metrics. Why this works: habits follow identity. Identity follows narrative, and narrative follows what you measure. When you measure alignment and craft on a schedule you control, your self-image stabilizes. A stable self-image reduces compulsive checking, which frees time and mood for better work and richer connection. That's a flywheel you want. If you remember nothing else, remember this: metrics measure reach, not worth. Build mirrors that reflect your values back, not your anxieties. Treat dashboards like tools you consult, not judges you obey. When your identity stops riding the graph, you stop opening the app to check who you are. Origins: from Skinner boxes to casino floors to feeds. To see how we got here, we've got to roll back to a lab in the 1930s. Behaviorism wasn't about feelings, it was about consequences shaping actions. B.F. Skinner built the operant conditioning chamber, the Skinner box, to study how reinforcement schedules change behavior. Press a lever, get a pellet, sometimes predictably, sometimes not. The big insight came from variable ratio schedules. When rewards arrive unpredictably, pressing persists longer and is harder to extinguish. That's the backbone of habit strength. Variability plus ease equals persistence. By the 1940s and 1950s, the research matured into full-blown schedules of reinforcement. The point wasn't theory for theory's sake. It was a map of how organisms, rats, pigeons, humans, allocate behavior when outcomes shift. Critically, the data showed that uncertain payoffs don't just sustain actions, they amplify them. We lean forward into maybe. Casinos took that map and turned it into carpet, lights, and sound. Slot machines are variable ratio engines wrapped in sensory design. Every pull offers uncertainty, occasional small wins, meaningful near misses, and a fast path to the next round. Notice the choices: no natural stopping points, minimal friction to bet again, celebratory cues for tiny payouts. You're trained to keep pressing, not to walk away. The economics are simple: dwell time drives revenue. Then came the smartphone. The operant chamber got a glossy UI and followed us everywhere. Infinite scroll removed the end-of-page pause, no should I stop moment. Pull to refresh gave your thumb a ritual, like a slot handle. Autoplay slid you into the next round without a conscious choice. None of that requires malice, it's incentive compatible. When the metric you celebrate is session length and return rate, features that elongate sessions win. Now add personalization. Traditional ads blasted one message to many.